Welcome to English and Grow. Today's topic is weapons. Let's dive into it. So, what about this vocabulary? Do you know what a sling is? Do you know a spear, flamethrower? Do you know what a military assault weapon is? Let's study this. In the first slide, I have artillery. Maybe you know that gun is not just something that you can be holding with your hand, but it might be this piece, which in some languages is described as a cannon. In the next slide, we have biological warfare. So basically, weapons need not be just something that you fire with, but it might be poison that you spread, poison or disease. So smallpox, a deadly disease, or a plague, which was really fatal for many people in the Middle Ages. This slide is about chemical weaponry. So, in warfare, you can also use nerve gas. And when you have street riots, so sometimes the police they attack the people, the citizens with tear gas. These are ranged weapons. That means there is a distance between you and your opponent. The Aborigines in Australia, they are famous for their boomerang. You can also learn how to use a bow and arrow, which is what I typically associate Native Americans with. And for Middle Eastern, for Middle Ages and Europe, for me, weapon number one is a crossbow. So this is what we have in the pictures. In the next slide, we have a flamethrower. So that's a really deadly weapon. It's a military assault weapon. And personally, I definitely would not like to die like this. In the next slide, we have something that I guess every kid should learn how to use, and that's a sling. So that's a little piece of, I guess it's a branch that you carve in a special shape. You attach some string to it. It's got to be elastic, and then you can use something tiny like pebbles or little rocks, and you can break a window with it if you need to do so. Uh, the next one, which we have in this slide, is a spear, and that's what prehistoric man would use to kill a mammoth with, for example. We have many Middle Ages, medieval weapons in this slide. So you have a sword, you have an axe, and you have a club. So club is a piece of stick. You can have spikes on it to make it more brutal, and you can also have a machete. In this slide, we have special kind of weapons. Dagger, it's a short knife, so you can cut or stab somebody with it. And you have a saber. Saber is, I believe, a weapon made in Muslim regions, and it's kind of a curved sword. We have explosives in here, so TNT and Molotov cocktail. So this is what I associate with street riots. So that's an explosive put into a bottle, and then you light it up and you throw it, and that makes a building catch fire. Now, if you want to protect your territory, maybe you need a shotgun and cartridges. And shotgun is an example of a firearm. In the next slide, we have something which is used in the army more than to protect your territory. It's something that might be used also by mobsters. So you can have a machine gun or submachine gun. This slide is about besiege weapons. So in the Middle Ages, when they wanted to break down the fortifications of a castle, they wanted to break into the gates of a city, they would use a battering ram. This is it. So, what have you learned? Do you know what shotgun is? Do you know a flamethrower? Do you know what besiege is? If you ever struggle, let me remind you. Every breath is a new beginning, and I will really appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, you can also support me on my Patreon, English and Grow, for more videos, Zoom lessons, and language coaching.